did the pinion last night. Got it all set up, seals in it, whole 9 yards. It's ready to go. All right. So it's been preloaded. Like I said, the only mistake I made last night, I got to thinking about it, and I'm like, I think I went light on my pinion preload, and I went back and I checked my notes, and I was. Because I was talking about how new bearings, I was setting it to like 10 inch-pounds with no seal. That ain't what I had broke down. When I went back and checked, it's like, no, I've been doing those to 15. So I went back and I added 5 more inch-pounds to this to get this to 15 inch-pounds on this setup. So like, you can't spin it. There's 15 inch-pounds of load on that, you know, if you spin it there. If you want to see that, that's that live video. You can check the YouTube live list on my channel, you know, and you can see what last night we did. I've been in the process of trimming. On these lives, if you watch it live, you see everything, mistakes, the whole 9 yards. I go back later, and like, because when you're live, you know, you've got a lot of like, I mean, it's the real world. You know, you'll make mistakes or you're hunting apart or whatever. I go back later, and I'll trim a bunch of stuff out, which is good. You know, it's like, well, you're going to miss something if you didn't watch it live. But at the same time, if you're ever going back to reference one of these videos to see something, you don't have to sit there and watch me make a fool out of myself for 30 minutes before I move to the next thing. So it's good and bad. It's better for me if I cut that stuff out and put it that way. So anyway, we did this one last night, got that video up. And so this ring gear in, I got to get my cage bearing out right there. They are not easy to come by either. Got it. I don't normally have to replace those, but this one right here, the old Pinion, it was 8 up, and this thing looks great, but the end of the pinion where it was sitting in it looked terrible. So I didn't want to take any chances. But normally, if I pull gear out of a junkyard and just change the ratio out or something, I don't ever pull that out, but I don't take any chances. It comes. I did the full kit. That's one of the reasons I did the full kit on this one, is so I can get that. So we'll throw that in there. That's the pinion support. That's what that bearing right there is. What makes the 9-inch Ford superior to other gears is that in particular. Like a GM 10 bolt, 8.5 inch. 8.5 inch or 7.5 inch, they don't have that. See, so there's the new one right there. Make that in. Make sure I've got the right. I'll use the old one. As a matter of fact, where did I put the old one? I'll use the old one. Got a little star ring. Let me see how that looks right there. Like that. Throw that back down in there and we'll be done. Just go there. Make that all the way. Make sure. Oh, yeah. That's fully seated. Get down in there. Get down in there. One-way job. Okay. There's that. Pinion's in. Pinion carry bearing. Now, I've already put the new bearings on it. This has got the spider gears in it. I don't know if y'all have ever seen, but if you ever wonder what an open differential looks like, that's how they work. The two sides, your axles turn, and that's how it's able to differentiate between the two sides. You know, in other words, when one side will slip and the other side will just sit there and sit still. That's what actually does that. This one's great. There's nothing wrong with it. I just cleaned it, and it looks fine. If you had a problem, you don't run into a problem on something like this unless you got a wild teenager or something driving the vehicle and like they are constantly doing one wheel burnouts or something like that, or you like, you know, you're constantly off in the mud or something and, you know, sitting there just rawhide and you got one side that's like just spinning like crazy. And because they don't have bearings, they've just got bushings and you've just got, you know, a shim plate. And so, you know, if you just sat here and just spun one wheel like crazy, you know, you could burn your shim plates up and stuff. But normally, you'll never see a problem. So anyway, I'm just going to clean that off right quick. Fresh oil down in there. Cleaned it. And grab it, you go in there, and I don't think, and it's not, I can put it back together exactly like it was, but it doesn't matter. I will put it back exactly like it was. So it just, oh Lord, it's a tight fit too. The second I set her down, she quit. All right, so now, got that on there. Go ahead and get that seat up. Not quite exactly where it needs to be. Move that just a little. How many of y'all build your own gears? Not a big deal. Okay. Turn that over. There it is. Can you see that? Oh, turn this a little bit. There we go. That's right. By the way, this whole camera's backwards, y'all. So everything you're seeing is reversed. It's because like we're just running live on a cell phone, and that's what's doing that. Let me make sure that I have got that off, by the way. Yep, and I do. So we're good. Okay. So now I'm going to we'll put a ring gear on here. Got our 350 ring gear. I'll turn that over. And that's going to draw down really tight. I'll line that up right there. Sit. I got my bolts. I cleaned my bolts off. So, make sure I oil those. Drop of oil. Each one of these. These do have to be torqued. Stock hardware, 60 foot-pounds. They are fine thread. Do not go crazy on these. This little impact right here, it don't put out much pumpkin, so I don't have to worry about it. So what I'll do is I've got it pulled down and everything. I'm going to get it set up and everything, and that way I can bind it up, and then I'll take a torque wrench and I will just set those. But it'll be hard for me to hold it, you know, and pull it with a torque wrench. Because I got to put 60 foot-pounds on these. I can't do it with it just sitting here like this. So after I get it in there, then I'll turn around and do that. So get some oil on these. You do need to oil these bearings. You will not get your preload with the bearings new and dry. You'll get a false reading that's light. It's not representative of what you got, so you've got to oil these. And I'm just using 50 weight motor oil. It's just racing oil. That's all I'm using. Bushings on here. Okay. Now, I'm going to take and try not to pinch my fingers because everything is sharp. Of course. Come there, Booker Bear. All right. So there's that. We're going to oil our adjuster rings here. And there's two different ways to do this. You can drop it in and then drop your carrier in and get it all lined up. Or you can take and put the put the cap on, and then screw it in from the end. And I have had to fight with these things before, but see, I put some oil on it, and I know it's right because it spins. And then the cap, I mark these caps to make sure I put the right one, 2 dots, 2 dots. No arguing, no mistaking. And then get it lined up. And you know you got it right because it should sit down there flush, and that joker should turn easily. If it does not turn easily, stop, back up. It's not right. You torque it down, you're going to ruin your adjuster. So there, that one's in there, that one's right. My holes are lined up all the way down through there. I got my homemade adjuster tool right here. That's an old socket there with some pins. See those holes right there? So you can turn it like that right there. Works good. All right, so now we're going to put some oil in this one. And come down here. Make sure that's turning easy. All right, that's turning easy. And then cap on this side, line it all up. See if I can get her to, and then make sure that turns easy. It does. Well, that one did really well. I've had these things where I've had to fight with them. That one acted right. That. And here. I'll just put them down a little right quick. All right, so we are going to preload this. Let me call it right. Keep all my notes. And a carrier right there, that's brand new bearings. So we're going to go to about 30 inch-pounds on this thing. So we're going to go to about, like I said, we're going to go to about 30 inch-pounds. Now, it's not the end of the world. If we were at 25 or 35, we would stop. But we are definitely going to make sure we have preload on it. If you do not have preload on this thing, what happens is that case kind of stretches and flexes a little bit under load, and it'll make the gear be able to like distort its pattern on the pinion, like the two, like in other words, when there's no load on them, they're sitting there perfectly like they're supposed to be meshed together. And when you put load on it, if you don't have the preload like you're supposed to, what happens is it can like twist in them bearings, and they can get out of that pattern that they're supposed to be in. That's bad mojo. Okay. Make sure you, yep, that still turns, that still turns. I'm going to take them up to about 40 pounds. That way I know I got it set. I may take them. If they'll turn, I'll go on up with them. We'll find out. We'll see how they turn at 40. Making sure I got them snugged up. All right, let's see if they, yep, I'm going to be able to go ahead and torque them up. So I'm going up to 75 foot-pounds, I think. I'm not badly mistaken, that's what it goes to. All right, so now, still turn? Yep, those are nice. All right, so now they're in. We're good on that. And I am going to take, and we are going to move this out away. All right, so I'm going to come out until my thread is out there on that edge, okay? So I'm getting it away from the pinion, and hopefully I've got it away enough, and I'm fixing to load it. And then after we get done with the pinion and everything, we'll bring it over where it needs to be for the pinion, but we'll count our revolutions and we'll keep our preload the same. That's the way It's the way I do it. There's a lot of ways to do it, but that's the way I do it. All right? So now I'm going to take, I'll sit right there, straight up. I'm going to get a inch. Let's get some load on it. I'm just guessing right now. I'm fixing to measure it. Just hang on. Making sure I'm got some oil in there. Loosen that up. Plenty of oil down in that bearing. So I've got some oil in that one. Turn it. Make sure it's well lubricated. If I did this more often, I probably would go straight to it and do it right the first time. That's okay though. Not a big deal. Okay. So we know it's well oiled. Got some load. I don't think I've got enough load on it. Let me show y'all what I'm going to do right here. So now I'm going to take, and normally what I do is I take and put an axle shaft, and I just stick an axle shaft in it and get on the end of it. But I think I can do something here. I can take and load it. Let's see. Let's see. Something around here that I can use somewhere. Put it somewhere. Right there. I'll just lock up the socket. There we go. I just took something that's close to the size of my spool right there. Stuck a rag on it where I get it tight. That way it would sit in there. Where I can. And so anyway, so basically, I got an inch pound. I showed you, if y'all were watching last night, you saw this, but I have a inch pound beam bar right here. And so when they talk about preload, they're talking about inch pounds of preload. And it's as you turn smoothly around, like that right there. So it's not the reading when it starts. It's not the reading when it stops. It's while it's in motion, however much that beam bar is coming back on that scale. That's what it is. So like right now, we're sitting at about 12 or 13 inch pounds. And so what that means is that as I sit there and turn, that load is pushing that over like that to about 12 or 13. And I can just watch it as it goes by as it turns. And so that's preload, which is fine. So we're going to put some more in it. We're going to bring it on up to 30, so which is easy to do. I can remember where I set my, right there. So I just turn around and I just keep cranking, right? So I'm just going to crank it. Once you get close, it'll come up pretty quick. And actually, when you do this, you're putting a little bit of stretch on the case when you do this. Oh, Lord help. All right, now come back up here. You sit there. Now let's see where we're at. So we put some more load on them bearings. Oh, that added a lot. Oh yeah, we're about there. So now, well, we're not about there. So now we're on 20. Now we're on 20. Just like that. That's quick. Anyway. Okay. So now come up another one. Right there. All right, let's see where we're at now. We definitely got some stretch on this case now. All right. So now let's see where we're at. Yep, so now I'm out there at 30. No, I'm not either. Oh, I'm gonna have to put an axle in it. My socket's not got the grip now. The socket don't have the grip to pull it, so I gotta put an axle. I'm gonna drop an axle in it and turn it on the axle, which I can do. I'll show you all that right quick. Thought that was gonna work. I'll be able to show it on film a little bit easier. That's okay. That's okay. Put an axle in there right quick. You grab one. Oh. Yeah. Right there. Yep. I'm normally doing full spools. This is a residential one with a differential. I might have to lock that differential up and do this. Why is life gotta be so complicated, y'all? Lock it differential. Why has life got to be so complicated? I'm just stuffing a rag in the differential where I can hang it up. That's all I'm doing right now. All right. So now I've got that locked up, and I gotta throw my axle back in there, and I've got to put the bolts. I gotta take the bolts out of this end of the axle and put on the other one right quick, where I can do that. It's always something. All right. Yeah, hey, Steelman, I don't doubt you, bud. I don't. Dude, I'm telling you, 9-inch Fords, there's 100 different ways to do it. I guarantee you, there's so many different gear manufacturers out there, and they know what they're doing. And some of them, you know, they got a bolt kit, and it's like, hey, this is the way we do it, and we use Loctite and stuff. Dude, that's cool. That's cool. You know, like I just run the Richmond Excel factory replacement gears. And, you know, they just go by the original factory spec, which is a stretched torque bolt. But when you sit there and tell me that, like, there's a Loctite process and all of that, like, yeah, I do not doubt you for 1 second, because I guarantee, because there's probably more than 100 9-inch gear manufacturers, and they figured out what works best for their gears to have the most longevity and give the best performance. So I promise you, no problem, no qualms, not arguing with you. I know you're right. It's just different application, different brand, different way of doing it. No biggie. Okay. Normally I don't have a bolt. This is out there on the drive plate, so this bolt wouldn't normally be on this end. But anyway, it's cool. Oh, I didn't want to do it like this because I'm going to have to back up and show y'all. I can lean it over and do it. Yeah. I can lean it over and do it. When I'm on a full spool, I don't, this is not hard because I turn it around and I just drop it all the way through on a full spool because it's hollow through the middle. But because I have got the differential in there with the cross pin, I can't do that. And I didn't realize it. And we're doing the video now. It's live. It is what it is. It's fine. But yeah, normally it's like not a big deal. Improvise a little bit. Got Gotta improvise just a little bit. Throw it in there. Back y'all up a little bit. Where we're at. Ooh. Yeah. I gotta lock that up a little bit tighter. You sit. Do not move. All right. Let's see where we're at. Yep. We're on about 28, 30, somewhere in there. Yep, I'm happy with that. I'm gonna stop right there. All right, 30, because it's like 25 to 30 is where I'm at. So like I'm at like 28. It's bouncing between. So as you get tighter, as the needles, that's the new bearing. So as you get tighter and get more and more preload, you're going to see that needle like jump more, because it's like as those bearings roll, every imperfection in my dirty fingers and everything, it's like those needles rolling through that. So you know, if you got a real low preload, you're going to get a real smooth needle, and then as you start really ramping up on your preload, you're going to see that needle start jumping more and more and more. So don't freak out on that stuff, okay? Now, anyway, that's the process. So, all right, so let's assess where we're at. We have got right now, these two plates are loaded. This has got the appropriate amount of preload in it. We're good with the preload it's got. Feels great, okay? I've got a Pinion that has got the preload ready for it on the bearings for it. Did it last night on the live show. So, come back around here. Make sure I got this thing. Screw it in there. Yep. So here's what we're going to do now. Now we're going to take and set the pinion depth is what we're going to do. All right. And this is not hard. This is really critical step. So you want to make sure, do not use a file, do not use a grinder, do not use anything on this face right here. This is a machine face that has an exact depth. If you've got a burr or something, if you got a burred edge, take a flat file and you can clean a burr off. But like you've actually got machining all the way around this, make sure you do not take that machining off. Like there's a little bit of rust and stuff right there, you just want to scrape that. You do not want to sand it. Because if everything is right, we're going to put the standard shim in and it's going to be really, really close. So the standard shim is usually a 25. Let's see what it had in it before. It had a 22 in it before. So when you get your bearing rebuilt, your rebuild kit, you're going to have a set of thin ones, and you're going to have one thick one. And so these are like 2 or 3 thousandths a piece, and then there'll be one thick one. It'll be your standard. Try not to booger them up. So go through these. I got a bunch of these in the drawer too, all different thicknesses. Yeah, these ain't the greatest. Got some better ones than this. Let's see what you are. Let's see what you are. That's a 15. Pocket knife out just to separate these. All right. It's like they got a little bit of shellac or something on them. That was an inexpensive rebuild kit, like full bearings and everything. It's like $79 or $80 for the kit, bearings, the whole 9 yards. But just, I mean, it's a street application. It's fine. Thing will go another 20 or 30 years, no doubt. But these shims, not the nicest I've ever seen. It's okay though. I got some good ones in the drawer if I need them. All right, let me find a 25. I really want to start there. That's a 17. That's a 20 right there. That's about a 3. That's a 12. There's an 8. 15. Looks like a 20 is going to be it. 16. Let me try that. What are you again? That's a 20. That's the biggest one. Yep. All right, we're going to go with that 20 then. Make sure that that's clean. Clean. Where is some proper corner? Get all this residue off of it. This right here is going to set the pinion depth, and that pinion depth is going to directly control the pattern on my ring gear. This is the critical part, where people get hung up, make mistakes, do the wrong thing. Do not put any silicone in here. It's got like, I don't know, it's not cosmetic, it's terrible stuff on it. Like wax. It's got to go, I can tell you that. I cannot leave that on there. All right. So now, this goes right here, like that. Dry, and that's dry. Make sure everything's clean, everything's dry. So you go right there, you go right there. Okay. Then I've got, put the new O-ring on here. So this is how it seals. You don't put silicone or anything. You better clean this off. Got a new O-ring. Before I do that, make sure this is clean. Yeah, got a little bit of debris on it. Where are we at here? Have you ever heard of people setting these up loose? Yeah, I set up my circle track loose. All right. So I set up my gears for my race cars loose. For circle track cars, nothing off a drag line. I mean, you have to set them up tight for a drag line because deflection. You know, you want more preload, more stretch in the case for drag racing. But for circle track, you're not shocking it. And you can get away with freeing up a little bit of power and setting them up loose. And that's why I was quoting numbers last night on my Pinion preload and stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's low. That's what I'm used to. That's what I've been doing on my builds for the dirt track. Because, like, for example, I've been crate racing, street stock racing. And, you know, we're running 400 horsepower. And we're putting it on an 8-inch hard tire on dirt. So you're never even hooking up to 400. Well, you can run a pretty loose gear and it'll live. Now, you got to inspect it. Like I've run loose gear before, and I had to go back and work on the pinion, you know, and the shims and stuff, because it loosen up too much, and then I'd start seeing some wear show up. But like, yeah, like when I say free, like 5-inch pounds on the pinion and 10-inch pounds on the preload for the carrier. That's pretty loose, y'all. Backlash-wise, you don't run a ton of backlash in it. You know, still that, 7,000, 8,000 backlash, which is about the same. If you put a lot of backlash in one, all they're going to do is get noisy. And you'll get a jump when you go, when you go from the drive side to the coast side, you'll get that back and forth. And nobody wants to hear that. And it'll get a little whiny. If you got a gear that's loose, it's going to get loud on you too, just to be aware. Okay, I'm clean. Ugh. This on, do not stretch this O-ring. I don't want to pinch it or roll it or nothing like that. I just want to get it on there. Make sure it's happy. Okay. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Sit right there. All right, put a little bit of oil. I'll have to come out a couple times, I guarantee you. Okay. Try to do this. Hopefully I've got that gear over far enough and it will drop in. I don't want to have to do this as a separate deal. I want to do this as one time. One time. And then I think I'm going to have to just get a preload hammer and make sure my O-ring is in there. Yep, it's in there. It should go down. Make sure it's all the way around. Yep, yep, yep. All right, let me get a good little hammer here. Pinch that. There it goes. Clear. Make sure everybody is happy. Looks like my O-ring went in right all the way around. I can tell. So. Got my bolts in here. I think these torque up to like 35 foot-pounds, if I'm not that mistaken. Make sure I got it lined up good. May have to come out a couple times. Got to adjust this. Got to get this right. This is kind of the tedious pain in the butt part. Well, let's be honest. It's not the kind of pain. It is the pain in the butt part. But it's worth it because this is the difference between one that lives and one that doesn't. Grab an impact. Goes all that way, and then all the place with it. Come around here. Now, I got this in. And if I am right, oh, I cut a corner. There's two different ways to do this. I am doing it the other way. I have to have the carrier out for the way that so you can measure the end of the pinion. You can measure the distance off the end of the pinion. You have to put a straight edge across here, but you have to go in and do it. I'm doing it strictly by pattern. Well, let's look at the pattern and see what it is. Crap. We're here now. That makes no sense to y'all, I know. It will. Oh, I got some stuff right here. And then I need to get a dial indicator and run it across. That's a lot. I need to move it over some. So we're going to come up here. Thing turned around here the way I need it turned. I want to just put it on that foot at 90 degrees to it. Get right there. Yeah, let's see just how. Woo! Yeah, that's like nearly 50,000. I don't even have to bother, which I knew because we moved it all the way over. So now we can turn around. The way this works is like this right here. I take and I'm not going to mark it. So like, you know, I gotta mark it. I gotta have a tape. I gotta have a magic marker. I'm gonna mark it. So I'm gonna mark it right there. Right there. Turn around and I'm going to come quarter turn that way. We go the same direction. That's the key. Go the same direction. So then I'm going to go. So as long as them two marks stay the same, preload stays the same. Now turn around. I'll throw this back up here. And just throw it back on there. See where I'm at. I'm not locked up. I need to be. There we go. All right, so there's about cut it in half. All right. About cut that in half. So let's go another quarter turn. I'm going to go straight down. It goes straight up. I'm going to go straight down. Okay. Take this one, go straight down. Straight down. So that's a half round. Come back. Drop you back on. So now I'm down to about 20. I want to get all the way down to about 7. So I'm going to go 1/8 of a round now. point right across there at like 130. Do the same thing over here. There we go. All right. Check again. Down to about 16. So I'm gonna get that other 8 and see if it gets us there. Exactly half. We got to be getting close at this point. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Let me zero this thing up. My setup was a little bit rickety. I got some good digital dial indicators, but you know, it's like this old beater needle one works good for this, but I think it's time for me to get a new magnetic base. It seems to not want to take it. I might have been a hold of this thing. Get it over here. There it goes. So I'm just rocking point to point, point to point is all I'm doing right here, y'all. I'm around 8. I'm happy. I'm quitting. Now, it may not be right. Because I've got a video from like 2 years ago where I showed the exact precise way to do this. And I jumped a step. I was supposed to throw that pinion in and find out which shim, you know, like if I need to adjust on my shim before I ever put my carrier in. I take a straight edge, you have the caps off, you lay the straight edge across here, and you measure the distance from the end of that pinion gear up to the bottom of your straight edge. And there's a number wrote on the end of that gear, which is on 90% of these 9-inch Fords. It'll be 1 inch and 31 thousandths or 29 thousandths or 35 thousandths. It'll be within 10 or 15. And that 10 or 15 right in there is like which shim, you know. And so like you take and what you can do is you put the shims in and you see what your distance is, and then you just add and remove shims until you get that distance right. And it'll get you really close on your footprint for your wear pattern, and then you may have to make like one adjustment or something. And I skipped it. I did. I'm live and hustling and rushing, and I jumped right past it. Wasn't thinking about it. But it's fine because we can look at the wear pattern and see where we are. It's just that would have got me really close, and maybe I only had to pull the pinion back out 1 time, and I might sit here and like, well, we're not going to do all that on live tonight because I got to pull this pinion out 3 times or something like that. But so many people, all that stuff is junk. We're not going to use that to look at our pattern, that's for sure. It's okay though, I got some. I like these. Doesn't show up as good on camera, but I got some Prussian blue right here. I think I got some yellow somewhere. I have some yellow. Well, I've got some yellow somewhere, but not where. All right, so All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to put some blue on it. I am going to get y'all right over the top of this thing. Right over, let me see if I can get y'all right over the top. That's the best I'm going to be able to do, y'all. I hope that's good enough. If it's not, well, it's the best I can do. Give me your chair. Okay. So now I'm going to take some bluing compound here. Don't get this stuff on your skin. You'll be living with it for a week. I'm going to paint this tooth. Don't worry about it. It will dissolve in the oil. But you can wipe most of it out, but it's going to be in there. The gear oil will blend it out. I'm not going to worry about doing a bunch of teeth. I'm just going to. Okay. I'm going to resist. So I'm taking my hand and I'm holding this back and I'm going to turn the pinion just like the drive shaft would turn it. And I'm going to pull it through that pinion. And it's really important that you drag it with your hand right here because you're trying to make it push on that gear, just like it would push the tires forward. And we want to go in the direction just like it was driving your vehicle down the road. All right. So now I can take, and it came through, and I can take a flashlight and I can look and see where we are. And we look like look really good. And I think I'm going to put some more on now, but anyway, let me grab y'all here. All right. So, hang on, let me flip you around here, buddy. Okay. So, like, it is, we want to be just a little bit in towards the center. It may be a little bit extra, but I'm going to add some more, but that's the drive side right there. So the steep side is the drive side. And it looks like that it's right through the middle. Can you see how that, hold that. Hang on a second, y'all. I can't walk and chew gum at the same time. I need there we go. Get some light going here, maybe. We'll try to get this light to sit up here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's like right through that middle right there. That blue is rubbed back. It's like it's cleaned off. And then I got like an excess here and an excess here. And so that's telling me that my contact pattern, my wear pattern is right through the middle. Now I'm going to add some more blue across more teeth to make sure. But I'm going to pull it back through going the other way. And I'm going to check my coast side. If my coast side is similar, that's going to tell me that reading's probably right. And then we'll really throw some blue on it and take a good look at it again and see. All right, and then let me flip y'all back around. Okay, so now I'm going to turn around and I'm going to pull it back. I'm going to go back. Now this is coasting, all right, like when you let off the gas or you back up in reverse. Yeah, make sure you don't have a problem. You're really worried about your drive side. You're not worried about your coast side as much. Your coast is kind of coming along for the ride. But it matters. All right, so there. So let me take a look. Yeah. It may be just a little bit deep. I mean, a little bit deep, not much. I'm gonna add some blue. I'd rather be deep than shallow, but I'm gonna add quite a bit more blue across several more, and that's see if I can get a little bit better reading. Really kind of cover it up. See if I can get a good reading here. Okay. So now I'm gonna take a rag where I can really hold it against it, force it to drag where I can really see it. All right. Yeah, we're gonna leave it alone. Dang, I got lucky. I just hit that. All right. So now I'll show y'all one more time. Kind of wish it had been off a little bit, because then we could have. You can see it better. Can you see it a little better now? See that wear right through that middle? See it? If that was, you see how, oh, dang, I wish I had 3 hands right now. If that wore off, clean spot in that middle, that oval circle in the middle, if that cleaned off edge was like within an 1/8 inch of that inner toe there, that inner part of the ring, I would say you're too deep. You need to add some shims to your pinion. And if it's getting out there, less than 1/4 inch on this outside, so like can't really show it too good, but anyway, if it was like, say for example, where that cleaned off edge was, if it was half that, then I would say that you need to take some shims away. And when I say take some shims away, so like we put that 20 in, right? It takes about 2 or 3 thousandths to see it move. So like, for example, I would go from like a 20 and then like add a 3 and make it 23, or go from a 20 to an 18 on that shim. And that's how that we would make that move back and forth. The depth down in the gullet, that's all about setting your backlash correctly on there. But that right there, folks, is money. That's money. That will. All right. Okay, so I just got lucky. All right, let's back up here. And turn y'all back around. There we go. All right. Yeah, that one worked out. So then turn around and I'm going to just take a rag. I can get some of this off. Well, you know what? I got all the glue on. Let me check my coast. Let me just pull it back through the coast really tight too, since I got the blue on the backside, and see what it looks like. Let's see. Yeah, we're fine. We're fine. Looks great. All right. So what's left? Well, we're going to put the locks on. We got our preload on it. It's set. We never let it get away from us. And we'll put, that's good enough. Ain't gonna be perfect. Let's get the locks on. Right here. Because remember, these will turn, it's pretty easy, so. There's that one. I think it's like a 5, or it's like a 1/4 inch or 5/16. It did, it's like 20 foot pounds or something. Just don't go crazy on that. And this bad boy right here is ready. Randy, you watch this video, you're ready to go. Come get your gear. Throw it back in there. Good to go for another 20 years, right? So, yeah. Square it up there. All right. Woo! Glad to get that done. That went really, I was like, I might have told this Pinion out 3 or 4 times, and this is going to get turned into a long video, and then it just hit. So if you watched last night, you saw on this how we set this, set the crush. We didn't do a solid spacer on it. We did the actual crush, pulled it down, set it, then turned around and torqued it up with the new nut on there, and only torqued it to 125 foot-pounds where we wouldn't crush it any further. So we got all that done. I've got to get one replacement bolt and put in it right here. That O-ring is on there, so that's sealed. So I never did put any silicone or anything in there. Of course, 80-90 gear oil is what's going to go back in it. And hopefully it'll last forever. I'm done. I'm bailing out right here. Let me catch up on the comments right quick. Anybody got anything else on here? Any questions? Comments, complaints, cussing? Like, you ain't got a clue what you're doing, Jason. but no, I appreciate y'all tuning in. I've just been busy, so we're doing these lives. And for those of y'all that follow Dirt Race Life, probably going to be about 2 weeks before the videos actually start up on the 79 Camaro leaf spring build that we're doing. We're probably looking at 2 weeks. I got to do stuff over Christmas and everything. I'm going to take the family and do some things. And then we're going to try to take the street stock to the Ice Bowl down at Talladega and run it as well. So it's like all that's going to happen. And then we'll probably start in on the Z28, building the new leaf spring car. All right. Well, with that, I will talk to y'all later. Thank y'all for tuning in.